That's right, Viveka. In fact, just while I was waiting for us to chat, I was thinking about telling you that the numbers were not as high as we had expected. In fact, the momentum had been building up very, very slowly during the early hours. And just in the past few minutes, there were large groups that came in and joined the others that are at the park behind me. The momentum has picked up significantly now. You'll just see here to my left, Viveka, police are on standby alongside the park. Further up the road is Dr. Pixley Kaseme Street, which is where these marchers will be making their way down. Many of them are carrying placards. They are in, obviously, support of former President Jacob Zuma. They're very vocal. They are singing songs behind us. In fact, right now, as we speak, I just want to take you inside the park, Viveka, just to show you how the numbers have grown in this time. You'll see that from just a few, probably about 100 or 150, maybe 30 minutes ago, it's now swelled, taking up most of the space that we see here. And you'll also see the other interesting thing, Viveka, is that most of the people behind me are dressed in ANC regalia. And that's probably because there are vendors here to my right that are selling caps and shirts and all sorts of items, which is quite bizarre considering that the National Office had specifically asked supporters not to dress in this way here. But supporters are saying that despite that, they need to be in their colors. Even though they are supporting the former president in their personal capacity, they are still ANC members.
So, Dasen, what's the sentiment being expressed, though? I mean, for supporters, and I was saying to Lester earlier, for many who think, and it seems like the ANC has withdrawn its strong support for the former president since he became former, and you might have thought that the rest of the country would follow suit, but we always knew in KZN he would maintain some sort of support. But is it surprising? What are they saying? Why do they still stand behind a man who seems to have rubbed the nation up the wrong way so many times and in such serious ways?
Well, his supporters insist that he is a victim of a white monopoly capital and that he was victimized for pushing forward programs like radical economic transformation, and that really he's just been given a raw deal in all of this. And that is why he continues to get support, particularly from those like the people gathered behind me at the moment. Like you mentioned, KZN is a stronghold for the former president, always has been. He's been able to rally support here over the years. In fact, I also saw a little earlier on the former secretary from KZN, from the ANC, the now disbanded ANC structure in KZN, Super Zuma. He was here earlier, didn't really want to speak officially, but he said he's merely here just to support the march, and he'll be walking along as well throughout, making his way down to the court with the rest of the supporters. But I can tell you this much, that the numbers that are projected for today, I mean, you're looking at about 5,000 that were projected for outside court. If you're looking at the way it's growing now, it's quite likely that they will reach that figure. We're also told that there will be buses that will be bringing in supporters from other provinces, from other parts of this province as well. So there is still some time for this support to grow. And we'll wait here, and we'll also be following the march to see how that pans out.
Dasen, just let's talk some logistics very quickly. I mean, what time is this march expected to get underway? Are they wanting to be there for the arrival of the former president at court, or when he comes out and they're expecting him to address them?
Well, that was the initial plan. In fact, we were told that this march would start moving as early as 8 o'clock, but it's unlikely that that will happen. Bear in mind that it's still a couple of kilometers before you get to the court. They will take that route that I pointed out to you earlier on. So that in itself might take in the region of about an hour. The likelihood of these supporters getting there before the court case gets underway at this point seems unlikely, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Police are on standby. The Metro Police are here. The SAPS is here as well. They're now around the park. We understand that there's also a police presence at the court as well. So the road that is next to us on the left at the moment, Dr. Pixley Kaseme Street, which will be the main street in the Durban CBD. That will be closed off as the procession makes its way down there and then reopened as they pass through. And then there's a cordoned off area at the court where protesters have been asked to gather. There has been a promise from supporters, a general promise of peace, that there shouldn't be any untoward behavior taking place. But nevertheless, police say that they are prepared for anything that may happen.